नमस्कार दोस्तों, आप सबको स्वागत है हमारी यूट्यूब चैनल थिंक टैंक इंडिया पर। आज हमारा टॉपिक है यूक्रेन रशिया वार। इस बारे में बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ मेरे दो सहयोगी हैं, शुभ और सिद्धार्थ। और हमारे साथ इस बारे में बात करने के लिए उपस्थित है प्रोफेसर बिमल शंकर नंद। वो अंतर्जातिक संपर्क मतलब इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस का माहिर जानकार है। तो नमस्कार प्रोफेसर नंदा, आपका हमारे चैनल में स्वागत है। क्या आप हमें सुन सकते हैं सर? अच्छा, हमारा पहला सवाल यह है कि ये जो यूक्रेन रशिया वॉर हो रहे हैं, इसके बिहाइंड रीज़न क्या है? इस बारे में आपका क्या राय है, जो क्यों ये वॉर हो रहा है? सर, क्या आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
I think long history is there. I need not go into detail. Soviet Union was disintegrated and Russia emerged as a powerful nation. The major successor was Russia. Now the question is why Russia became so desperate about war with Ukraine. As you all know, the Western countries, the first reason behind this war is the role played by the Western countries. The पश्चिम का देश है, America and NATO, they may be held responsible. Why? क्यों? क्योंकि वो रशिया का जो सेंटिमेंट है, वो सेंटिमेंट को इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दिया। देखिए, रशिया ये कंट्री है जिस कंट्री वो चैलेंज आते तो एक हो जाता। The country is known for its nationalism. All the powerful world leaders who dare to attack Russia met with fatal consequences, like Hitler or previously like Napoleon. All of them attacked Russia and Russia gave them befitting reply. Now, what happened after 1991? You see, America and all the NATO powers, they were expanding their support base from Western Europe to Eastern Europe. वो जो NATO countries है, वो Western Europe से Eastern Europe तक आते हैं। पहले देखो, जितने जो सोवियत रिपब्लिक का जो स्टेट्स थे, वो बहुत सारे स्टेट वो नेटो में ज्वाइन कर लिया। प्रेजेंटली देयर आर 30 मेंबर्स ऑफ नेटो, 30 हो गया। एंड देयर नेक्स्ट टारगेट वाज दिस यूक्रेन उसका नेक्स्ट टारगेट है, क्योंकि अगर वो यूक्रेन को कैप्चर करेंगे, यूक्रेन अगर नेटो में ज्वाइन करेगी तो नेटो बिल्कुल रशिया का बॉर्डर में आ जाएगी और जितना नेटो स्टेट का न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स है वो रशिया का थ्रेशोल्ड में आ जाएगा। ये रशिया के लिए बिल्कुल अच्छे सिचुएशन नहीं है। सो टू मी द फर्स्ट point of this war, the first reason of this war is the attitude of the Western countries, including USA, number one. Number two is definitely the new role played by Putin. As you all know, when Putin became Russian president, he has only one target, one objective, just to go back to the days of former Soviet republics. You know, Soviet Union was a world leader. And after 1945, Soviet Union was a superpower. And as you all know, Soviet Union was the country which participated in Cold War with United States of America. And Soviet Union represented a bloc, a socialist bloc. And after 1991, the people of Russia was rather became hopeless about the future of Russia. Now, Putin has revived a new hope among Russians. And the Russians, they are thinking about a new Russia, a new powerful Russia. Now it is Putin whose new objective, that is the important factor behind this war. So many factors are there. And thirdly, Ukraine herself is responsible. Thirdly, Ukraine herself is responsible. यूक्रेन का भी बहुत रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. क्यों? देखिए, यूक्रेन को बोलते हैं कि वो एक बफर स्टेट है. On the one side there is mighty Russia, on the other side there is European Union. Now what could be the foreign policy of Ukraine? Ukraine could play a clever role as a buffer state. वो एक buffer state हो सकते हैं और एक clever रोल भी प्ले कर सकते हैं. कैसा ये रोल है? ये बफर स्टेट कोई पावरफुल स्टेट में ज्वाइन नहीं करते. A buffer state should not join a powerful state. Rather, a buffer state should always remain neutral. But what happened in case of Ukraine? As you all know, in the year 2014, when the pro-Soviet president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych, was forced to flee the country as a result of Euromaidan revolution, which took place in 2013-2014, and Yanukovych had to flee Ukraine. The present president, Volodymyr Zelensky, is absolutely pro-West. He wants to join NATO. He wants to join European Union. And if Ukraine joins European Union and NATO, Russia will face tremendous problem. So America and NATO powers, they are responsible. Putin's ambition, that is responsible. And the role played by Zelensky of Ukraine, that is the role of Ukraine, that is also responsible behind this war.
मैं एक सवाल प्रोफेसर साहब से काटना चाहता हूँ.
हाँ, बताइए.
Why in 1994 Ukraine surrendered her nuclear weapons? वजह क्या था?
वजह था कि 1991 में जब सोवियत यूनियन डिसइंटीग्रेटेड हो गया, सारे दुनिया में all the countries of the world, they were concerned about the future of the nuclear weapons. Because you know, the nuclear weapons possessed by the then Soviet Union was stockpiled in Ukraine and some other countries. Now even America and other countries, all of them put tremendous pressure on these countries to surrender their nuclear weapons. And the countries, they succumbed to this pressure and they surrendered all their nuclear weapons. On the other hand, these countries, they gave guarantee to Ukraine and other countries that their security will not be hampered. So this was the situation. But I can, this war, ये जो युद्ध हुआ, ये हमको एक लेसन देता है कि पहले खुद का जो सिक्योरिटी उसको समझो, उसके बाद डिसीजन लो. ये जो कंट्री खुद का जो सिक्योरिटी वो नहीं समझा, वो समझा कि ये अमेरिका और रशिया उसका सिक्योरिटी प्रोटेक्ट करेंगे, लेकिन वो तो नहीं हुआ. ये देखो, आई विल गिविंग यू वन एग्जांपल. इन द ईयर 1998, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India, India decided to become a nuclear weapon state after Pokhran 2 explosion. And there was tremendous pressure on the part of USA and other countries that India should give up nuclear weapon. But India never agreed to give up its nuclear arsenal. Now you see, the decision was perfect. The present world situation proves this, that the decision taken by Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was absolutely perfect. वो जो डिसीजन लिए थे और परफेक्ट डिसीजन था, और इसीलिए दुनिया का कोई कंट्री हो, चाइना हो और अमेरिका हो और पाकिस्तान हो, they cannot attack India. They will think twice before attacking India. इसको बोलते हैं नेशनल इंटरेस्ट. पहले तो खुद का नेशनल इंटरेस्ट समझो. बहुत साल पहले in the year 1939-40, realist theory was discovered by one important theoretician in international politics, and he was Hans J. Morgenthau. Hans J. Morgenthau said that the foreign policy of a country should be determined by national interest in terms of power. You must give your national interest utmost importance. वो जो यूक्रेन है, वो उसका नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दिया, इसीलिए द कंट्री हैज टू सफर नाउ. इंडिया खुद का नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को इंपॉर्टेंस दिया, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इंडिया हैज बिकम ए पावरफुल नेशन इन द वर्ल्ड नाउ.
जी, अगर यूक्रेन ने ऐसे गलती नहीं करता तो आज ऐसे कत्लेआम नहीं देखना पड़ता
ना. देखिए, यूक्रेन बहुत गलती किया. एज ए न्यू कंट्री, Ukraine definitely is a new country because Ukraine has become independent after 1991. I am not talking about its position before 1917, but Ukraine became independent after 1991. ठीक है, लेकिन जो होना था यूक्रेन में, it required political stability. But Ukraine didn't have political stability. It didn't have political stability. As you all know, what happened in 2014, just I give the example. Yanukovych was removed. And after that, new president came to power. And Ukraine did not follow a specific foreign policy. It always changed its foreign policy. Whether it tilted towards Western Europe or towards Russia. So this type of foreign policy is dangerous to any country. You must have a specific foreign policy. You must have a foreign policy which should be followed by successive governments. But Ukraine failed to do that. So Ukraine may be held responsible for today's crisis also.
Anyone who will ask next question?
Hmm. 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 This question is a complicated one, whether Vladimir Putin is 21st century Hitler. देखिए, हिटलर को जो इमरजेंस था आफ्टर द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर, द सिचुएशन वाज क्वाइट डिफरेंट. द सिचुएशन क्वाइट डिफरेंट था. एज यू नो, फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में जर्मनी का डिफीट हुआ था, जर्मनी हार गए थे, और उसके बाद ब्रिटेन, फ्रांस एंड अदर कंट्रीज, they just humiliated Germany. Germany was humiliated. And the German sentiment was deeply hurt. And Hitler emerged as a savior of Germany. And German nationalism became united with Hitler as its leader. And you know what happened? The result was the Second World War. The present situation is not like 1918 or 1919, but I can compare with the present situation. After 1991, uh, Russian sentiment was also hurt. Soviet Union was disintegrated and NATO was expanding its base. So Russians became uh, rather suspicious of अमेरिकन इंटेंशन। वो अमेरिका क्या करना चाहते हैं, वो नेटो क्या करना चाहते हैं, उसका बहुत सस्पिशन आ गया। एंड पुतिन हैज बिकम देयर सेवियर। पुतिन हैज बिकम अ न्यू लीडर, बट देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन हिटलर एंड पुतिन। हिटलर डिडंट हैव न्यूक्लियर वेपन, पुतिन possesses nuclear weapon. Number two, Hitler attacked most of the countries, most of the neighboring countries. He started with Poland and he made a mistake when he attacked Soviet Union. And that was the reason Germany was defeated in the Second World War. But Putin is not making such a mistake. Putin is more clever. Putin बहुत क्लेवर है, क्योंकि पुतिन कोई नेटो कंट्री को अटैक नहीं किया। पुतिन किसके अटैक किया? पुतिन अटैक किया यूक्रेन को। यूक्रेन नेटो का मेंबर भी नहीं है। एंड नेटो कंट्री का एक एग्रीमेंट है, एक नेटो कंट्री अटैक होगा तो सब नेटो कंट्री ने उसका सहारा देंगे। If one NATO country is attacked, then all NATO members will come to help the country. But now, Ukraine is not a part of NATO. Even it's not a part of European Union. And Putin has taken that opportunity because Ukraine is almost alone. Number one. Number two, he has taken lesson from history, Putin. What lesson? You see, America has done all these things previously. अरे अमेरिका तो यही काम किया पहले। 1962 में अमेरिका क्या किया? 1962 में जब क्यूबा सोवियत यूनियन के साथ एक एग्रीमेंट किया था, जिस एग्रीमेंट के बजाय सोवियत यूनियन ने क्यूबा में एक मिलिट्री जो उसका जो मिलिट्री बेस, वो सोवियत यूनियन वाज गोइंग टू एस्टैब्लिश अ मिलिट्री बेस इन क्यूबा, एंड व्हाट वाज द रिएक्शन ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ यूएसए? यूएसए ऑलमोस्ट पुट अ ब्लॉकेड on Cuba, and entire world was on the brink of Third World War because Soviet Union was going to destroy the American blockade. Ultimately, good sense prevailed, and all the countries they backtracked. So America did the same thing. I can give you some more examples where America did not obey international law. America never allowed anyone in Northern or Southern America. So Putin has taken the lesson from history. What America did previously, Putin is doing it now. So Putin is more clever than Hitler. So I think Putin is more dangerous than Hitler. Putin is more dangerous. Now, sir, what was your second question? Please ask me again. आपका second question क्या था? Yes. The Western countries had decided to put economic sanction, to start impose economic sanction on Russia, and already ruble is losing its ground in international monetary market. Presently, $1 means 110 ruble. Even Indian rupee is more powerful than ruble right now. So if this war goes on, then Russian economy will suffer, definitely suffer. But one thing is clear, Putin has done his homework well. पुतिन ने उसका भी होमवर्क किया। देखिए, रशियन इकोनॉमी बहुत बड़ा इकोनॉमी नहीं है, लेकिन रशियन इकोनॉमी में जो डेट पार्ट है, डेट, वो बहुत कम है, 18%। अमेरिकन इकोनॉमी में डेट है more than 100%. So Russian economy, I think it can sustain for a few months, but ultimately it will have to suffer. So if the war goes on, then Russian economy will face tremendous problems. So I think Russia will try to complete the war as soon as possible. Russia बहुत जल्दी ये war खत्म करना चाहेंगे.
My question is, this is the end of US supremacy. Will this world war will be turned into Third World War?
These are two questions, two separate questions. Yes. These are two separate questions. Number one, whether US supremacy is going to be finished forever. Number one, that means whether we are going to see a new world order after the end of this war. I want to give you answer to this question first. Then I will answer the second one. I think there will be a new world order after this war, and US supremacy may suffer. Why? After the Second World War, द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध के बाद जो पॉलिटिक्स आया इस दुनिया में, उसको बोलते हैं बाइपोलर पॉलिटिक्स. कोल्ड वॉर स्टार्टेड, वो हो गया, कोल्ड वॉर शुरू हो गया था, और दो बहुत पावरफुल स्टेट का emergence हुआ. On the one hand, there was United States of America, which represented the capitalist world. On the other hand, there was erstwhile Soviet Union, who represented the communist bloc. So there was tremendous Cold War. वो शीतल युद्ध वही हुआ 1945 से 1991 तक. But in the year 1991, Soviet Union was disintegrated and a new type of world order emerged, and it was unipolar world where USA was the only supreme power. 1991 से यही चल रहा था, लेकिन 2020 के 15 अगस्त सारे दुनिया देखा कि यूएसए कितना डरपोक नेशन है, और तो जो बाइडेन आया, ही इज नॉट कैपेबल एनफ टू लीड लीड अमेरिका एज ए सुपर पावर. और क्या हुआ था 15 अगस्त में? जो बाइडेन सिर्फ भाग आया, सबको छोड़ के भाग आया. जो आदमी उसको हेल्प किया था अफगानिस्तान में, उसको छोड़ के भी भाग आया. सारे दुनिया देखा वो कैसा अमेरिका है. Now, you see what happened now? USA assures Ukraine that yes, we will help you, we will give you weapon, we will give you money, but we are not ready to fight with you against the mighty Russians. What does it mean? How Ukraine can fight with the mighty Russians? It's not possible for Ukrainians. Not possible for a long time. Yes, they are fighting boldly in the war front, but it's not possible for a long time. What is going on, what news we are getting from Ukraine is very much disturbing. The nuclear plants are burning in Ukraine. People are dying. People are 1.5 million people fled Ukraine to the neighboring countries. Naturally, if America cannot help Ukraine, if Western Europe, that is European Union, they cannot help Ukraine, then who will trust them? कोई उसको विश्वास नहीं करेगा. So this war will end today or tomorrow. But after that, I think a new world order will start, and it will be a multipolar world where the countries like Russia, China, India, as well as America, Britain, France, they will play their own role. So the present unipolar system is going to be finished with the end of this war. This is the first point. The second point is that your second question, please ask me the second question. Vasudha, ask me the second question.
It will, yes.
Hmm.
On your, what do you think? This war will turn into the Third World War, and Biden is the weakest president. We can say that. And this is the end of United Nations, like League of Nations.
Yes. Three important points. Number one, whether Biden is the weakest American president. At least Biden is not a powerful president. He has proved his weakness previously. So he is not a powerful president. This thing I can say, number one. Number two, just I want to add one point. When Barack Obama was the president of the United States of America, Biden was in charge of American foreign relations. But what happened to Joe Biden? He has a vast experience in foreign policy and foreign relations. But what he is doing now? Naturally, he cannot be said a powerful president. बहुत powerful president तो नहीं है. Weakest क्या वो तो that will be decided by the future generation. But he is not a powerful president. Number one. Number two, whether it is going to be a third world war, I think it will not turn into a third world war. वो third world war नहीं होगा क्योंकि थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर न्यूक्लियर वर्ल्ड होगा, न्यूक्लियर वॉर होगा. एंड न्यूक्लियर वॉर, व्हाट द मीनिंग ऑफ न्यूक्लियर वॉर? इट इज MAD, दैट इज म्यूचुअली एश्योर्ड डिस्ट्रक्शन. हम आपको एक न्यूक्लियर वेपन में मारेगा तो आप भी तो मुझको न्यूक्लियर वेपन मारेंगे, हम दोनों ही खत्म हो जाएगा. दिस इज कॉल्ड म्यूचुअली एश्योर्ड डिस्ट्रक्शन. If Russia uses nuclear weapon, then there is every possibility that some other countries, they may use nuclear weapon against Russia. Number one. Number two, Putin is also concerned about the economy of Russia. What I have previously said, कि Russian economy के ऊपर जो प्रेशर है वो प्रेशर बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर है. So Russia will try to complete the war as soon as possible. So, to me, the chance of third world war is bleak one. There is no possibility of third world war. And lastly, yes, other countries are not involving. America has decided not to get involved in this war. They are just giving lip service. And definitely they are assisting Ukraine with ammunition, money, etc., etc. But what will be the use of ammunition and money? Ukraine wants ground force against Russia, but they are not ready to help Ukraine with ground force. The Western European countries are doing the same thing. So I don't think that there will be a third world war. And the last question, that is, what will be the future of United Nations? As you all know, the success of United Nations was that after Second World War, it has prevented the Third World War. That is the only success. And Ukraine has certain, the United Nations has certain social and economic role also. यूक्रेन का जो सोशल, यूनाइटेड नेशन का जो सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक रोल है वो भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो यूनाइटेड नेशन, आई थिंक देयर विल बी नॉट एन एंड ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशन, बट in the world crisis where the powerful states like USA or USSR was involved, United Nations failed to play a positive role because United Nations is controlled by the Security Council, and Security Council is controlled by 5 veto power nations. So I think United Nations is not so effective in this world crisis, but ultimately United Nations will remain, but United Nations was never an effective organization, but it will remain. It will not wither away. It will not be abolished.
Next
I have
question.
to ask another question.
Mm.
Is it the fault of Ukrainian that they have given their faith in the hand of a comedian?
Mm.
What India did
Um,
not.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, complete the question.
Is that the fault? Is that the fault of Ukrainian that they have given their faith in the hand of a comedian?
Listen, is the question not the question of a comedian or a film actor, etc., etc.? Is the question of the political leadership? वो पॉलिटिकल लीडरशिप का क्वेश्चन है। यूक्रेन में जो हुआ, यूक्रेन का लीडरशिप का फेलियर है। मैं पहले ही आपको बोल चुका कि यूक्रेन का लीडरशिप वो उसका जो रोल था, उसका जो भूमिका था, वो निभाने में बहुत उसका जो काम वो नहीं ठीक से कर सका। क्यों? क्योंकि these persons, they don't have any political experience. The present president Zelensky, what was his political experience? He didn't have any political experience. He started his political career and became the president of Ukraine. Here, experience is needed. Naturally, a person like Zelensky, Volodymyr Zelensky, his inexperience, that is a major factor behind this crisis. वो क्राइसिस का पीछे उनका जो inexperience वो भी बहुत responsible है. So the lesson from this crisis is that your leadership must be an experienced one. They must have political experience, political skill, and they must have foresight. Without that, you cannot run a country.
Gee.
What will be the policy of Indian government in this situation? What is your opinion on Indian government stand on this war? They will support Russia or Ukraine, anyone?
I think the present Indian government under the leadership of Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi is playing a perfect role. वो जो रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक रोल है, ठीक रोल है, इसमें कोई गलती नहीं। क्योंकि आप देखिए, फॉर ए लॉन्ग टाइम फ्रॉम इट्स इंडिपेंडेंस इंडिया इज फॉलोइंग नॉन अलाइंड जो रोल है उसको फॉलो करता है। इंडिया इज ए नॉन अलाइंड नेशन, रादर इंडिया गिव लीडरशिप टू नॉन अलाइंड मूवमेंट. India was a leader of non-aligned movement. So it is the official policy of India. India's foreign policy is not to take the side of any group, any military group or military alliance. Now, Russia is a time-tested friend of our country. When Russia was a part of Soviet Union, Russia helped India in 1971-72 Indo-Pak War, that is Bangladesh Liberation War. 1971-72 में जब तनाव था, इधर पाकिस्तान के साथ इंडिया का युद्ध हो रहा था, मैं आपको याद दिला दूं कि अमेरिका सपोर्टेड पाकिस्तान ड्यूरिंग दैट वॉर, चाइना सपोर्टेड पाकिस्तान, इवन America sent its 7th Fleet to the Bay of Bengal just to intimidate India. And during that time, Soviet Union assisted India. Soviet Union sent another fleet to protect India. So Soviet Union was India's time-tested friend, and Russia is also. India's relationship with Russia is intimate one. India's defense equipment, उसका almost 60% वो रशिया से ही आते हैं. Russia is giving S-400 Trump missile defense system to India. And Russia assures India that in spite of Russia-Ukraine war, Russia will supply this Trump missile to India. So India cannot take the risk of making Russia its enemy. On the other hand, Ukraine never supported India in any international forum. Rather, Ukraine supported Pakistan. Ukraine is the largest supplier of military weapons to Pakistan. This is the reality. Now, there is another picture of the story that presently India's relationship with USA is also a developed one. India is a part of Quad. India is concerned about Chinese intention in South China Sea. And just to protect the littoral countries of South China Sea and Indian Ocean, India is cooperating with Australia, America, Japan, etc., etc. And that's why India is a part of Quad. Naturally, India has to strike a balance between Russia and America. India should not take any side that will be harmful to our foreign policy. So India is taking a perfect path. I think it is the perfect policy taken by our government under the leadership of Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
Is Modi is a true global leader and the only hope in this situation?
राइट यूअर, आप ठीक है, आप सच बोलते हैं, क्योंकि आप दुनिया का सब देश इंडिया को रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि आप कुछ कीजिए. वो जो यूक्रेन है, which never supported India, Ukraine's ambassador to India, that he is praying to Narendra Damodar Das Modi to play a positive role in de-escalating the tension between Russia and Ukraine. Modi has personally talked to Vladimir Putin of Russia. Now America is requesting India to play more positive role. And as I have previously told you, that after this war, I think a new world order is going to be formed and it will be a multipolar world. Now, in this multipolar world, India will play a more positive role. So, I think 21st century is a century for India. And under the able leadership of Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi, India is going to play a true global role.
मेरा और एक सवाल है.
हाँ.
मेरा और एक सवाल है. Will China and Pakistan take advantage of the situation?
Now see, they will try to take the advantage of this situation because all these countries, that is Pakistan and China, they have their own intentions. What are the intentions? You know, Pakistan has never become a nation. Pakistan is a state, but it has not become a nation. Its unity depends on anti-India rhetoric. वो बांचना चाहते हैं एंटी इंडिया रेटोरिक देके. पाकिस्तान में एंटी इंडिया सेंटिमेंट नहीं होगा तो पाकिस्तान 5-6 कंट्री हो जाएगा. Just like China, China has its own intention. China wants to play global role, but he always wants to prevent India from playing any role in Asia or world. So they have their own intentions. They have their own objectives. उसका खुद का इंटेंशन है, उसका चाइना का और पाकिस्तान का. So they will try to take advantage of the situation. But I think India is well prepared to prevent any type of bad intention on the part of these countries, because if Pakistan or China they dare to attack India, No one will support them, including Russia. They will not get any support from Russia, and India is powerful enough to prevent any type of attack from these countries. So I think they will try to take the advantage of the situation, but ultimately they will not be successful in doing so.
इसका
अगर
मतलब
रशियन
ज्यादा
इकोनॉमी इन दिस, अच्छा पूछ लीजिए आप,
इसका मतलब
आपको कुछ पूछना है पूछ लीजिए सिद्धार्थ।
जी जी इसका मतलब पाकिस्तान और चाइना किसी का भी कोई ज्यादा फायदा नहीं हो सकता है इस सिचुएशन से।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, उसका फायदा नहीं हुआ। वो तो पाकिस्तान जब युद्ध शुरू हुआ, पाकिस्तान का प्राइम मिनिस्टर तो रशिया चले गए थे। ही वेंट टू रशिया टू मीट पुतिन एटसेट्रा, बट ही रिटर्न एम्प्टी हैंडेड। वो उसका फायदा कुछ नहीं होगा। ये पॉसिबिलिटी है, ये पॉसिबिलिटी तो है ही। चाइना जो जो इंटेंशन है ताइवान में, China considers Taiwan as its own province, and Taiwan is a renegade province according to China. And for a long time, the present Chinese President Xi Jinping, he has clarified his intention to accommodate Taiwan within China. Now, the problem is that America is not ready to accept Chinese demand. Now, if China decides to attack Taiwan, what will happen? I think America will not sit idle. Why? Because if China acquires Taiwan, then entire Taiwan Strait and South China Sea will be captured by China. And if China captures all these regions, vital economic interest of United States of America will be hampered. So America will not allow China to acquire Taiwan forcefully. I think the present situation will remain. There will be tremendous tension. There will be occasional threat on the part of China, but ultimately China will not go for this type of adventure. It's my opinion, because then America will retaliate. American vital interest in Ukraine and American interest in Taiwan are quite different. America is more interested in South China Sea and Taiwan Strait, because American economic interest will be largely hampered if China acquires Taiwan forcefully.
इफ रशियन इकोनॉमी डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाती है इस वॉर में, तो क्या आपको लगता है जो चाइना है वो रशिया को पाकिस्तान या श्रीलंका की तरह डेब्टर में फंसा सकता है?
No, it is difficult, because Russia is not Pakistan, Russia is not Sri Lanka. Russia has its own natural resources like oil and gas. Yes, Russian economy will suffer to a large extent if economic sanction goes on for an indefinite time. But economic sanction, वर्ल्ड कम्युनिटी तो रशिया के ऊपर इकोनॉमिक सैंक्शन 2014 से ही दे दिया. In the year 2014, Russia captured Crimea, and then European Union and America, they imposed economic sanction on Russia. But what happened to Russia? So all these sanctions, they cannot go for indefinite time. Again, Russia has oil and natural gas and some other natural resources. So it's not possible for European countries to avoid Russia for a long time. And China can control Sri Lanka, China can control Maldives, or China can control Bangladesh. But Russian economy is not like Sri Lankan economy or Bangladesh economy. So China will try its best to establish economic relations with Russia, but Russian economy will be fully controlled by China. I don't think it will be possible. ये संभव नहीं है.
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन.
mm, 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 mm. प्रोपागंडा इज ए पार्ट ऑफ वॉरफेयर. प्रोपागंडा वो युद्ध का एक पार्ट है. सब कंट्री ये करते हैं, प्रोपागंडा करते हैं. इस युद्ध में भी प्रोपागंडा होता है. लेकिन आई थिंक रशिया could not imagine the resistance given by the Ukrainians. Russia could not imagine it. Putin, it was the calculation of Putin to capture Ukraine within 4 or 5 days and to install a new government which will be helpful to Russia, which will be sympathetic to Russian causes. And the name of Viktor Yanukovych is just going on rounds about whether Russia will install Yanukovych or not, etc., etc. Russia's intention was to establish a government which will be friendly towards Russia. But to the utter surprise of Putin, the Ukrainians are defending their country boldly. So this was beyond the calculation or imagination of Vladimir Putin. Naturally, the war is becoming prolonged. Human casualties are increasing. बहुत आदमी मर रहे हैं, etc., etc. And I think if Ukrainians can prevent Russians for 3 or 4 more days, then Russia will think about going back, because they cannot continue the war for a long time. And the negotiation is also going on. वो तो बात कर रहे हैं. जेलेंस्की तो बोल दिया कि वो पुतिन के साथ बात करेंगे. I think if Ukraine assures Russia that it will not be a part of NATO, or it will not be a part of European Union, rather it will continue its neutral position, then I think Russia will go back from Ukraine. I think this thing is going to happen within 4 or 5 days. It is
लेकिन
my
हम तो
assessment.
देख रहे हैं यूक्रेन यूक्रेन नेटो EU मेंबरशिप मिल गए, नेटो से सपोर्ट दे रहे हैं, तो पुतिन अब क्या करेंगे? न्यूक्लियर वेपन के बटन दबा देंगे?
नहीं नहीं. और न्यूक्लियर वॉर वो क्वाइट डिफरेंट थिंग. यू नो what happened in 1945. The effect of nuclear weapon is still felt by the Japanese people, and America is still held responsible for waging nuclear war or throwing nuclear bomb for the first time in the history of human civilization. I think it should be the last time. So there should not be any nuclear weapon. And I think Vladimir Putin is a clever politician. He will not go for nuclear war. वो न्यूक्लियर का बटन नहीं दबाएंगे, वो प्रेशर दबाएंगे. यूक्रेन के ऊपर प्रेशर जोड़ेंगे. He will try to put pressure on Ukraine. He will try to change the present government of Ukraine, but he will not go for nuclear war, because that will be disastrous for Russia also. And Vladimir Putin knows what is the interest of Russia. I am not concerned about the nuclear war.
और मेरा लास्ट क्वेश्चन ये है कि ये जो सिचुएशन है, इससे इंडियंस को सबक लेना चाहिए कि कम दिमाग वाला कॉमेडियन को जो आलू से सोना बनाने कहते हैं, या कुछ ढोल पॉलिटिक्स के लिए, जैसे ओबामा केयर को फिर से बाइडेन ने चालू किया, उस तरह की कुछ ढोल पॉलिटिक्स के लिए क्या कुछ पैसे दे देंगे. ऐसे देखे कुछ कॉमेडियन है इससे जो ढोल पॉलिटिक्स करते हैं, उसको 2026 में अपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनाना चाहिए क्या?
देखिए, आप बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन किया, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है ये कि हम क्या लेसन लेंगे ये युद्ध से. व्हाट लेसन शुड वी लर्न फ्रॉम दिस वॉर? नाउ यू नो इंडिया इज अंडर द एबल लीडरशिप ऑफ our respected Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi, and entire world has recognized his leadership capability, and that's why the Ukraine ambassador in India is requesting Narendra Modi to play a positive role. Even America is requesting India to play a more positive role. This is the true character of a world leader. Now, ये युद्ध हमको एक सबक सिखाया, एक लेसन सिखाया. लेसन क्या है कि देश का लीडर कैसा होना चाहिए, जिसको पॉलिटिकल एक्सपीरियंस है. द पर्सन हु हैज पॉलिटिकल एक्सपीरियंस, द पर्सन हु इज ऑनेस्ट, द पर्सन हु इज कैपेबल एनफ टू लीड द कंट्री, एंड द पर्सन हु हैज गॉट अ डेमोक्रेटिक माइंडसेट. फॉर ए लॉन्ग टाइम India, a particular political party which ruled our country for a long time, for 6 decades, they neglected all these aspects of political leadership. उन्होंने समझ लिया कि एक फैमिली है ही, इंडियन का प्राइम मिनिस्टर का पोस्ट उसका जागीर है. लेकिन प्रेजेंट इंडियन पब्लिक ओपिनियन is not favor of any political, any family rule. Rather, we are in favor of an honest leadership and able leadership. And Narendra Modi is both honest and able leader. Naturally, we have put our faith on Narendra Modi. The people of India will put faith on Narendra Modi again in the year 2024.
Indians are very much aware of their national interests.
Yes, definitely. Indian people are aware. They are conscious about the future of the country, about the role of India, what role should play by our country in world politics. So people are very much conscious. So I think the 21st century will be the century for Indian leadership, and that leadership will be given by Mr. none other than Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I can give you one example, sir. Yes, during 1971-72 war, Indira Gandhi played a positive role. India defeated Pakistan and a free Bangladesh was born. All these are positive things for India in Indian subcontinent. But what happened when India signed Simla agreement with Pakistan? What we gained in war front, we dedicated everything, we lost everything in Simla agreement. And the people who fought in the war front, I personally don't know some of them, they just say what they have done. We dedicated our life in the war front, and 93,000 soldiers were under the possession of India, but we did not force Pakistan to accept our term on Kashmir, our condition on Kashmir. We failed everything. So what our soldiers gained in the war front, we gave everything in our treaty. So this is called political inexperience. Indira Gandhi had experience, but she did the mistake when Simla agreement was signed. But Narendra Modi is quite a different personality. He knows what is the national interest of our country.
Any more questions? Right? Any
No.
more questions?
No.
No? Then thank you, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
Dada,
thank you very much. We
for
hope we will meet
giving
again.
time to us.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Hmm.
और सबको बोलना है कि प्लीज हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन पाने के लिए बेल बटन को जरूर दबाइए, क्योंकि हमारे आपका सहयोग का बहुत जरूरत है. धन्यवाद. नमस्कार.
Thank you. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद.